Coach. Y'all come back from a big 5-game home road trip. No losses, 2 wins, 3 ties, and y'all come back home with a massive 6-1 win over Marshall. Just overall thoughts about how the team performed.
Yeah, we were excited to be at home, as you could probably tell. Out of the gates, got us a goal, and that kind of set the tone for the rest of the match. Our girls came out just flying 100 miles an hour, and it's been a long road trip, so we knew this was our conference opener, and we wanted to perform at our best, and I think we showed that tonight.
You know, I know y'all, the past couple of home games, y'all kind of got to where y'all tried to sneak in a goal in the very end. Finally, it kind of went in for y'all. Just tell me, how were y'all able to kind of get that goal in?
Well, I think this was a game that, because Marshall's very good in possession, and we had to make a decision. Are we going to press or are we going to sit in? And we decided to press. And so we said, is our press going to be better than their possession? And I think tonight it was. It may not always be, but tonight it was. We turned them over a lot, and did, the very beginning, it was actually their kickoff. And we just won it, and Zoe's got pace and got in behind and had a nice composed finish. So it was a good way to start.
Then Marshall ends up tying the game, but your team, didn't panic, didn't do anything. They responded with 2 critical goals. How big was it to get those 2 goals, especially after Marshall had seemingly kind of got the momentum back?
Right. So after we scored a goal, of course, we had a lot of momentum. We created a lot more chances, and then they kind of crushed that momentarily with that equalizer. But congrats to our team for just not letting down and fighting right back and getting the next goal. So, we've been prepared for conference. Everything we did in our non-conference, we talked about it, is to prepare us for this. And we've been down in non-conference and come back, and we showed that we can do it now.
And then in the second half, y'all seemingly just continued to press and press and press. How important was it to just keeping that foot on the gas pedal?
Yeah, I think it's kind of what we know. We didn't want to take our foot off the gas, and then of course this was an opportunity for us to rotate a lot of players in, players that came off the bench. The levels stayed high, and we wanted them to kind of continue that.
So we're having Helen back since she was gone for the World Cup, and obviously she made an impact with her goal today. What are you excited for her to make an impact going forward in conference play?
Well, that's what she is. She's an impact player. She changes the game. She's been coming off the bench since she got back, and she's a difference maker. I mean, she's at any given moment, even if she's not playing well, at any given moment, she can score. And what a phenomenal free kick. I mean, I've been coaching a long time, and very rarely do you see free kicks buried like that. So she's a special player, and we're excited to have her with us now.
Yeah, absolutely. And you kind of touched on this, but I noticed the past couple games you do feel comfortable using your substitutions throughout the game. Do you have any plans to continue with that philosophy going forward in conference play?
Yeah, I think you have to, because this is a tough conference, and it's one thing to be at home on a Thursday night when the weather's nice, but we're going to hit the road Saturday, and we're going to play Southern Miss on Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock. It's going to be hot, and so if you don't have depth, you're not going to make it. So we definitely want to be able to use, dig into our bench, and all those players are very, very important for us.
Absolutely. All right, that's all I've got.
Going on this 5-game road trip, y'all go against 2 Big 12 schools, and y'all come up with 2 really big ties. Helen had her first career goal in the final seconds of the Baylor game. Just what was it about that road trip that you really saw from this team?
That we could compete on the road. Last year we didn't have a lot of success on the road, so we wanted to test them. We wanted to test them in our non-conference to make sure we were ready for conference play. So we went on some long road trips, and we played some tough games and played against really, really good competition. And we passed. They passed the test. So I think now they're prepared for conference play, and we got tough games on the road in conference. And if you look at Oklahoma State and Baylor, those draws, we're not going to face really anyone as good as them. So we'll be ready.
And how critical is it, when you come back from a big road swing like you did, y'all come and get a massive win like y'all did tonight?
Well, it's very important. We want to protect our home field. The crowd was great. The girls had a lot of energy, and it's important to get a result, at home and on the road.
Going on the road to Southern Miss, so what are you going to be expecting from the Golden Eagles?
They're good. They're very good. They played, we played a tough non-conference schedule, but we didn't play one as tough as they did. So they're certainly battle-tested. I mean, they basically took on the SEC in their non-conference. They didn't get the results, but they've seen it all, and they've seen better than us. So they'll be prepared, and it's just going to be a toe-to-toe game on Sunday.
Well, Victoria and Zoe, congrats on the really big win. Y'all come back home after a really big 5-game road trip. But first thoughts of how does it feel like to be back at home after a long road trip like that?
It feels really good. I really miss playing on our home field and just how more comfortable we are, and just the energy of the stadium and everything. It's missing a lot.
I mean, she said it also. I cannot add to that.
You know, Zoe, you tied the school record for fastest goal scored in a game. Just what did you see on when you stole the ball and were able to put the ball past the net?
A lot of the biggest thing that we've been working on as a front line is just anticipating instead of reacting. And so I just anticipated that Maji was gonna get that ball, and then I just went to goal.
I know Coach Hallman was kind of preaching on like trying to get this press up, considering Marshall was a really big possession team. How important was it to keep y'all's press defense up against a team that likes to keep possession?
It was extremely essential because most of their ball work comes from the back line and distributing, and so me and Maji really had to make sure that we cut off passing lanes and cut off the route back to the goalkeeper, and so that big balls wouldn't just keep finding their way into our back line.
And just like cutting off like as much options as we can, and just picking up those balls real close to the goal, so we don't have to go from 50 yards all the way.
So so our press was really important because if we pick it off here, we're closer to the goal instead of picking it off back there.
Just a shot or a pass literally into the net, and it's a goal.
And then Marshall gets the equalizer. But what was, and I saw y'all kind of meeting up. What was kind of that meeting about as y'all were preparing to kind of get the ball back after Marshall had scored?
Well, every time we get a goal or something, we like
Just kind of
calm down.
recompose
Yeah,
ourselves.
we calm down. It's like it's not over. We still have time to get back in the game and just play our game.
Yeah, just make sure we're all on the same page continuing the game, because sometimes people can get in their heads and get all frazzled and take the blame when it's all of us are on one team, and so making sure we emphasize and then correcting anything that we see in that moment, and then just fixing that for the rest of the game.
And then Victoria, you had a really big goal there in the first half. Just what did you see when you were able to intercept the ball?
Well, I didn't start this time, and it was my time to see what was happening in the field, and I was looking that they were playing a lot to them holding midfielders, and I just actually really feel that for me picking up balls from behind, like even in practices, you see like how many times I pick up balls like that, and it was just like the timing to do it, and I'm in front of the goal, I'm just gonna shoot it, I'm just gonna take that shot. It worked.
And y'all go up 3-1 at halftime. How important was it to kind of continuing putting y'all's foot on the gas pedal as y'all entered the second half?
So our coaches really wanted us to send a message to the rest of the Sun Belt, just saying, we're Texas State, we're here, and I feel like we did a really good job of emphasizing that and really putting them away and dominating the game.
You're gonna ask all my questions, so you're all good on that.
And now y'all go back on the road against Southern Miss. How do y'all continue to build this momentum y'all built? Especially when y'all didn't have any losses on the road trip and y'all come out with a big dominant win like this one.
Yeah, I would say because this year we're doing a really good job of getting good results on the road, so I think just staying focused on that, reflecting on our past and seeing what we've done well and why we've been doing good on the road, and just continue to do that.
Yeah, just focusing on each team is different, and the coaches do a really good job on scouting them and giving us the tools so we can put it in the field, and just actually listen to them and let us coach us.